Everyone, my name is Ina Singh. My hometown, I was born in India, so I actually refer to India as my hometown, but I'm also from Los Angeles, so I've lived here most of my life. I graduated from UCLA in 2013. I am currently working as the assistant director for NYU, New York University, in their Center for Student Life. And I'm currently actually here in California, and I've been working remotely since mid-March, since everything with COVID happened. I think I quickly changed my major at the end of my first year, or dropped my major, explored psychology and anthropology actually, and then landed with anthropology and then minored in education. And at that time I was thinking, okay, I'll go into education. I didn't really know about higher education, like working with college students. I just thought I'll go into education. And then I think by really end of junior year, I had basically developed a pattern. It was a very consistent pattern. I loved program planning. I loved student engagement. I loved supporting students on a one-on-one basis too, because we did a lot of that work during orientation. And I loved helping students transition into college and thrive during college and helping them reach their goals. And the fact that, you know, a lot of the involvement and even my own major kind of helped me light that spark of, I do love working with people. I love understanding where they come from. I love learning about their journeys, helping them, supporting them. And I love being able to create opportunities on a college campus that help students thrive and help them feel like they belong. And a lot of things that at UCLA helped me feel that myself as a college student. So then to be able to get a master's and have my entire career has been working on college campuses so far, and being that for other students has been such a rewarding experience. So that's my job right now, how I've kind of gotten here, and I owe so much of that to UCLA. I work with hundreds of students, if not thousands of students a year, and that's everything from planning really large programs, events, initiatives that impact students, or it's the one-on-ones, right? And really helping them with their individual concerns, issues, questions, etc., and supporting them on their journey. So with that, there are a lot of skill sets that I think really kind of started at UCLA, but a few of them right off the bat is communication, collaboration, working with other people, leading with empathy and understanding and an open perspective. When you're working with so many different personalities, people from different backgrounds, and understanding how you can meet people where they're at, that skill definitely started at UCLA. To be an RA and to be in student government, I mean, a lot of those positions, you are doing this work just as a student, right? So you don't have as much responsibility, that I have right now as an administrator, but the initial touch points I remember being in those different positions were how to advise students, how to listen, how to collaborate with other people, how to work with other people regardless of how different of a personality they may have or different working style, different approach. All of those pieces started with my leadership positions at UCLA with extracurriculars. I was provided opportunities and platforms to be involved in to start talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion. I didn't ever have that opportunity before UCLA, and I actually had the opposite interactions. I think I grew up, as somebody who was an immigrant to this country, very much not really taught that it was okay to be proud of my identity and be proud of who I am and to showcase that. And then getting involved in what I was involved in at UCLA, I was shown the opposite. I was taught you should be proud of who you are, and here is a platform to do that. And when I was given that platform, I think that's what's been, I think, probably the most significant part of my time at UCLA, because it made me so proud to be who I am. And now I submit conference presentations and I talk about in front of my students what it means to be a woman of color, an administrator of color, a South Asian woman, I talk about my immigrant experience openly. And all of that was because of everything I was involved in at UCLA. And so my extracurricular activities are, I think, such a large part of who I am. I think it's still something that I reflect on a daily basis because I'm providing similar student leadership opportunities to other students, and I'm now their supervisor. So I try to hopefully embody a lot of, the amazing administrators and the qualities that I saw at UCLA in them, in who I am now as a professional. I reflect upon how much growth I saw in myself in such a short time. And I think about what led to that at UCLA. And now I think, well, I'm now an administrator on another college campus. It might not be UCLA, but it's still the same work. So how do I take what were the most pivotal and important parts of my journey at UCLA, and how do I try to create that for other students? So I reflect on that a lot. I reflect on my time at UCLA constantly because it was just such a significant part of who I am. And I think the administrator that I am today is so much because of UCLA and every opportunity that it provided me. Gosh, I love anthropology. It was so interesting because I think I selected anthropology mainly also because there was no education major at the time, at the time that I was in school at UCLA. But I'm actually reflecting on it. I don't know if I would have picked the education as the major. I had a minor in education, but I still chose anthropology as a major, mainly because I became so just ingrained in the cultural anthropology piece of things. And whenever people used to ask me, what does anthropology have to really do with your career, or what does it have to do with what do you do, or what can you do with it? I always used to say you could do anything with it, and you could. And I think that was when I had that epiphany of anthropology is truly the major where you just learn about people and societies and cultures, and you learn how to be open, and you learn how to listen about a journey of a people, a society, a culture, a city, a country, however you want to analyze a situation in anthropology. You look at that, you reflect on it, you understand how people came to evolve to where they are, why they say certain things, why their culture is the way it is. And then I think about the field of education and the work that I do daily, and that is my work, right? My work is literally talking to students constantly, helping them in their journey, but the only way that I can do that is also helping them reflect on what do they need in their current place and time. And anthropology was just that eye-opening experience of, wow, like this is education. And when I paired anthropology with my education minor, that was the best combination that I could have thought about, because anthropology, you're learning literally how to think about cultures and societies and analyzing them. And then in education, it was almost like I took everything that I learned from anthropology and then I applied it to education. So that was kind of how I ended up thinking of anthropology and education, and really valued my degree at the end of the day. I would say in terms of fields, I feel like honestly I could have gone into anything. I felt so equipped and knowledgeable about especially working with other people and being in a people-oriented field. I think for me, my trajectory in my career has been very interesting. I think I left UCLA thinking I was going to be in student activities and student life or orientation pretty much my whole time. And I actually started my career trajectory with doing a program for NYU Abu Dhabi, which is one of the global sites for NYU. Then I actually went into academic advising. And then I finally found myself back at NYU, where I'm currently at in my role. So I think something I wish I would have known is just there are a million areas of higher ed, right? So I keep saying like higher education is a microcosm of the real world. I shouldn't have been surprised that you can also do a lot in higher education. You can be in the athletics world, you can be in academic advising, you could be in assessment, you can be in research, you can do a lot more than just student activities and orientation, or what you are accustomed to as being higher education and being student life. So I think that's the one thing that I wish I would have known. There are a lot more areas. And to sign off, I would just say good luck to everyone right now.